But I just feel, for me, that we have a sequel that loses the originality and the cleverness of the first film because we have a sequel that's being, it feels like it's being pushed by the studio.
Yeah. It didn't feel like, go ahead.
And it's, you know what, and as I've been saying, it feels very derivative of another franchise out there. Also, this
Which one?
Mm-hmm. I'll let you figure it out. You're a smart guy. Hey, you see a lot of movies. Think about it. Hey everyone, Double Toasted Live has 2 dates left on its tour. Santa Monica, California, and Seattle, Washington. Get your tickets by going to dtmerch.com or go to x1entertainment.com/doubletoasted or go to doubletoasted.com and get your tickets there, and we'll see you soon. Got some good news for everybody out there.
What's that?
We finally have a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, man. I mean, it's called The Black Phone 2, but you know, it's pretty much a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Now, it ain't got Freddy Krueger in it.
Yeah, close enough.
But don't worry. Yeah, no, it was close enough. The grabber grabbed his routine,
stole that shit,
and is doing the same thing. I even Freddy Krueger like, look, I ain't got no monopoly on dream movies and shit, but goddamn, now you know what you're doing.
I'll be damned. Stole my shit word for
Call
word.
my lawyer.
You know, Freddy Krueger like, do you believe this shit?
Yeah. Well, he ain't doing it no more.
Yeah, no. Do I need to go back in the
Yeah,
dance?
my man picked up. Hey, the grabber is carrying on the tradition.
He said, well, you wasn't gonna do it.
I'll get you in your dreams. Man, they even have similar storylines because if you know the story of Freddy Krueger, a serial killer, was stopped and killed by a mob of parents. And when they killed him, he said, that's all right. I'm going to come for your kids in their dreams. Now, in the last movie, if you remember The Black Phone, Finney was the guy that the grabber kidnapped. And Finney turned the tables on him and killed his ass. Mm-hmm. And the grabber said, that's all right. I'll be back. It's time to get your little sister in her dreams. And I was like, all right, now, look, we're going to have to get a lawyer for real this week. But after the grabber was killed by Finney over here, one of his kidnapped victims, years later, he's, see, look at this. Look at that. But we'll talk about that later. But Finney, years later, being the survivor of the grabber who would kidnap children and kill them, he years later, he thought it was done, even though he's had some problems, but now the grabber is back. Even though he's dead, he's popping up in their dreams now. And the only way to stop him is by helping the souls of other murdered kids. Because if nothing else, the grabber, he put in a lot of work. They still finding bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about work ethic. That's right there.
Hey, when you were a grabber in the 70s, you had free reign to do whatever you wanted.
Well, you grab all day. Yeah, my man was scooping up all kind of kids in that little black van. That was crazy. It was a black-ass van with a man riding around a mask. Did nobody stop to pull this fool over and see if something was wrong?
Man, you remember how it was when we were kids? Parents weren't looking for that. Yeah. A lot of kids got picked up and it was just like, you lost yours too? Damn, that sucks.
Oh, that's when it first started, huh?
Yeah.
That's when they first started doing it.
Yeah, nobody was vigilant like they are now.
All I know about, I saw a black ass van with a man with a devil mask on. I'd be like, nah, that's all right. I wouldn't be like, hey, he's got balloons. Yeah. Okay.
Talking about there's candy in here.
Yeah. I like candy. Where we going? But
he probably would have passed you up.
Yeah, you goddamn right. I would have asked a lot of questions. Yeah. No, man, when you got that mask on.
Yeah. You know what, kid? Get out of my face.
Same with me. He's like, you talk too fucking much.
Yeah. So take a balloon with you.
So the kids, so these kids that they got to find that were killed, the kids were murdered at a Christian camp. And Finney and his sister Gwen, under the guise of being counselors in training, they go to this camp and they go there for one final showdown, maybe, with the grabber, or at least his spirit now, where they're also going to uncover some other dark secrets from the past that they never expected. Let's go ahead and see the trailer for The Black Phone Part 2, a sequel to a movie that we enjoyed very much.
Very much.
From back in the day. And we'll be back with our reviews.
It's time to find out.
I will tell you this, man.
I was gonna say somebody answer that phone.
For real.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions about the whole phone thing too. So it is interesting to see how this family has moved on from a very traumatizing experience. If you remember anything about the last movie, Finney, who was recently Hiccup in the last
How to Train Your Dragon
movie, he was one of the kidnapped victims of the grabber, who was very much alive and grabbing kids at the time and killing them. Being trapped in a room, there was only a phone there that didn't work except for the spirits of the kids who were connected to that room and that phone. And they would call Finney up to tell him what they learned about their experience and how far they got to help him make his escape. And hopefully also get that way out too. But, especially the story with Finney. So, there is a story to be told with this family and, what went on with them after this terrible experience. But in my opinion, this movie is forcing the story to continue beyond its original source material, and not a very good way that really continues a story that they told well in the last film. I don't think. So the first movie was based on a short story by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. And as I said, you have a kidnapped victim in a room with a phone. He escapes through the help of the victims who learn to communicate through that phone. Now with this movie right here, every ghost is making collect calls on every phone that's out there. You passing by the street, there's a ghost calling on the phone.
Yeah,
at the phone booth, it's like every ghost is calling collect from jail or something. Because
let me on the phone.
Because Finney be walking by like, hey man, I can't help you, man. You know how you get a call from a friend in jail like, hey man, I can't help you. So it's
wrong number, Sadi.
Collect call from Finney from the afterworld,
from the afterworld correctional institution. Man, I ain't taking no more calls. But man. Listen,
Joe Hill did consult on this. I'm just putting that out there.
I know you can't say a whole lot.
Yeah,
I know. But more, I will say what I have to say.
I don't want to stop you.
Yeah, and I know that Joe Hill consulted on this, maybe, but I just what we have now, and like I said, maybe. I can see a lot of people being entertained by this. See a lot of people liking this movie being a hit. But I just feel, for me, that we have a sequel that loses the originality and the cleverness of the first film, because we have a sequel that's being, it feels like it's being pushed by the studio.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it's, and as I've been saying, it feels very derivative of another franchise out there. Also, this
Which
movie,
one?
I'll let you figure it out. You're a smart guy. Hey, you see a lot of movies. Think about it. I think this plays very, very loose with the rules it even set up from the first movie.
Yeah.
That leads to other questions. Like I said, why is it always a payphone? Why is it always a payphone, especially in this movie, a payphone out in the middle of nowhere half the time?
What do you want?
Can't nobody hear you. I don't know why you shut the door. Cuss this fool out. I don't want nobody to hear this.
You of people know that dead is just a word.
I understood why the phone was a big thing in the first place. For one thing, it was the title of the movie. But the ghost had a connection to that phone.
Right.
Because that phone was in that room where all these kids were dying. But now if you could use any payphone, shit, why not use the house phone? Why not use the office phone?
Yeah.
Why not use any phone that's out there? That is something that I think is just, again, maybe it's explained. Maybe I don't know. I just, that was a question that I had. What's up?
Go ahead.
No, it just ties into the mother's death, and now the grabber is a ghost. So
again, why can't they just use any phone? Why goes to my man's walking down the street? When he's on the corner, why they calling that phone?
Well, that particular phone had a meaning.
but there was early in the day that he was walking down the street. You remember this, right?
Yeah.
Martin, I know you want to. Listen, you said, let's stop the bullshit already. We're going to protect this movie. Like, Martin has to, he can't really say anything because he has a connection with this film. And you went off on this movie. You were talking to me now. You know,
I don't know if I went off.
You ain't listen. Don't sit up here and try to make excuses for the movie now.
No. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just that when you said you didn't understand, I just thought, well, maybe that was.
Well, I get it. Like I said, you're right. There was a connection to that payphone in that location.
Payphone.
But you do know there was a phone on the street he passed by too,
I know.
And that phone was anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also that one phone that was connected. Why is that phone out in the middle of a field?
Yeah, I was wondering that shit too. I'm like, what is this phone booth in the middle of nowhere? Yeah. And then he asked one of the characters, like, hey, you know this is out there? He's like, yeah, it don't work no more though. I'm like,
when did it ever work? Is that nowhere? That phone, they got everything over here in this camp, and then the phone just.
It don't even make sense.
The phone is 3 blocks down the street.
They don't even make sense.
Yeah, the phone's a mile away in the middle of the woods.
It's like the grabber just put that shit there. He put the phone booth there.
Yeah. Also, how does death work in this movie, man? You know, there's a point where the kids are trapped in ice, but later they can bust through glass. They can, shake a phone booth. They can do all. There's at one moment they seem restrained, and then there's another moment where they're able to bust loose and just do whatever they want to do. I'll probably mention this again, but I think a lot of things in the movie are based on imagery more than story. Mm-hmm. It feels like, and also this camp that they go to. Why are Finney and Gwen going to this camp? Because they want to go investigate, where these kids are buried, and also there's things going on with some other secrets. I don't want to say anything, but why are they going to this camp when nobody else is going? In the middle of a storm, middle of an ice storm, nobody else was out there,
Martin's just like,
Martin wants to say something, but I ain't gonna put him on the spot for that.
I thought they explained that.
Did they? Man, they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, like the other kids just didn't make it, or because it was a sandstorm or something.
Yeah, it came up suddenly. The storm.
Yeah,
they had plans for other kids to be there. I mean, listen,
which I think was bullshit. But.
I mean, I don't really have a connection to what's going on because one, I never even really went to summer camp, let alone winter camp. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And a Christian winter camp, I have no frame of reference for that.
Yeah, it's a Christian. Okay, so I explained it, but it just seemed very convenient that, nobody else is here but you two.
But with this group, that's it. That is it.
I mean, he was like, why are y'all here? I mean, we were kind of closed with the storm coming on.
Yeah. Unless I get, like I said, they were there for an urgent reason. Another thing is that they also want to create this atmosphere of like being in, the Shining or something like that. Yeah. That some of these things could probably be explained. I mean, that thing with the kids being there at the camp, it seems very convenient. But again, they could probably be going earlier than some other kids because they have an urgent reason to go. Mm-hmm. But I will say the biggest problem for me in the movie is the grabber. Ethan Hawke was so great as the serial killer in the first movie. Now he's a ghost again doing the dream thing, and it just kind of feels like a knockoff of. Let's see if I find it here. It feels like a knockoff of like he is a Freddy Krueger knockoff. A lot of the things that they do in this movie. Now I know that you said you had a screening where they said that was the intention.
Yeah. At the Q&A, being like the Dream Warriors. That was what they were going for.
Yeah, but it feels like they're kind of just repeating instead of elaborating on it or doing something that's inspired by it. A lot of the things that we see here, we've seen these images in Nightmare on Elm Street before. A lot of that again is to me is derivative of Nightmare on Elm Street. It doesn't seem like it was inspired by it. It seemed like we just gonna just repeat what that movie's doing.
Yeah, no.
But like I said, his performance is great in that first movie. Now his face is mostly covered by a mask, and he's snarling his lines under that mask. It's a cool mask, but it's just kind of made the character more generic. You had Ethan Hawke,
right,
giving an excellent performance. Now he's just the guy. You could have got anybody to do this.
That's what I was telling you yesterday. I was like, they could have really got anybody for that character, for that role. See, I think that they lost the reason why people enjoyed the first one so much, because Ethan Hawke, as a great actor as he is, you threw him in kind of a different role. He's a villain now. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is a little different. And then they do it again here, but it's like he's barely in the film now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of having Ethan Hawke if you're not going to utilize him?
Yeah. Like I said, his lines. I mean, Ethan Hawke is a great actor. Even his line reading is fine, but they're not the same as the way he was performing in the first movie. Like he's, like I said, he's performing kind of muffled under a mask sometimes. So, but I do have some good things to say about this because there are some things I do admire about the movie. I was right at this moment. Yeah, I just don't think it has the story momentum or cleverness that the first movie did. You want to say anything at all?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know you're about to say some positive things about it, and I do admire the fact that it's not a sequel that's just a remake of the first one. And there's some pretty cool imagery that goes on, and I think the actress who plays Gwen, because now she's more the main character, I think that girl is really fantastic. I think she's really good. And it's a thing for me where I'm like, yeah, I'm so close to the project. It's hard for me to talk about it. I don't really want to be negative, but at the same time, I don't know if my opinion can be trusted when I'm being positive. But I will say it's the kind of movie where I go, this movie's not for me. It didn't work for me. And a lot of it is realizing like, I'm not a horror movie fan. And with horror, with the first movie, I love the first movie, but it was more of a thriller horror.
Yeah.
And this dips into the horror. And what I realized watching this, especially at the premiere, I was like, horror fans really get into stuff that this movie does, which is callbacks to other movies. A lot of horror fans really love that kind of thing. And I don't so much. But I was just, I watched it going like, hey, man, I think that people who don't see the first one might like this, more than somebody who had a joy for it. But I don't know. I mean, it's there. I didn't hate it, but it's just so much of it doesn't work for me.
Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, that it's different than the first movie, right? I get that aspect. But I just feel like if you're going to be different, like really go be different. You know what I'm saying? But like when you watch this movie, it's like I could have just watched Freddy Krueger at the house. I was like, hey, I shouldn't have to. Why am I watching this? And when they do like the whole Freddy Krueger thing, the whole nightmare stuff, like you said earlier, it's nothing new. It's stuff I've already seen before.
Yeah, there's a difference between being inspired and another one just repeating what they do. But hey, that's just me. That's just me, man. Oh, let me see. I do have positive things to say.
Please.
What?
I don't trust what you about to say.
What? I don't have anything positive to say?
Go ahead.
I do have something positive to say. Our toasties are so creative, man.
See, I told you. I don't trust it.
I'm a build myself.
End of his mouth.
Well, because you were kind of getting on to me, but hey, I was right though. I am saying something positive. Boy, our toasties are so creative, man. Oh. That's the positive things I have to say right here. You know what, man? They make such wonderful things. They make great art. They make great clothing, jewelry. Some of you make good food out there. Boy, you have what it takes to be an online. Look at my mouth right here. You watching my mouth. Watch this. Entrepreneur.
Oh, so is that French? It is the way you say it.
Booba define. So we do have to go word out to our sponsor right now, which is Shopify. And that's what I'm talking about, our would-be online entrepreneurs out there, because if you're going to start a business online, start it with Shopify. Why? Because Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the globe. You can accelerate your content creation with Shopify, because Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your photography. I know your pictures are pretty out there, but hey, it doesn't have to have a little touch
damn right there.
Yeah, exactly. And get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you, because you do with Shopify. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling. People don't like what you do so much. The only thing that's stopping them from liking what you do is you, because you ain't got on this yet. And Shopify, they want to help you make some money by saving you a little bit of money. Listen, go to shopify.com/toasted, all lowercase, and you'll get a $1 per month trial period. That's shopify.com/toasted, all lowercase. I want to thank Shopify for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. Now back to it. All right. I do have some positive things to say about the movie. Listen, the cast is good. Mason Thames, or however you say his name, who again, he was just in Hiccup in the last How to Train Your Dragon movie. I like his character here in the movie, Finney, because he's grown up now. He's grown up so much that he's beating somebody's ass at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he don't want any friends. And he's like, I'm gonna make sure that people know this. You try to make friends with me, you're gonna get your ass beat. Or if you talk to me crazy, you're gonna get your ass. Like, he's a disturbed badass. Because at the beginning of the movie, he's almost beating the kid to death in front of the schoolyard after school.
And they just walked away.
Where no adult is to be found at all. It's almost like the adults are like, shit, we
no kids are like, hey, too much.
No, you wouldn't either. Yeah, all the adults are like, he ain't gonna beat my ass too. Like all the teachers took off.
Oh yeah, he did say, anybody want some else? Want some?
Now who else wants some?
Who else wants some? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's actually, but that is another thing that I don't like. You know, again, we got this whole situation where kids are almost committing murder and ain't no teachers around at this school.
Well, you know, Joe Hill, that makes it part of the Stephen King universe.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That must have been the part that he consulted on. Throw some killer bullies in there.
Yeah.
And make the main character the main bully. Madeline McGraw, as you said, Martin, she is very good. Now her dialogue feels fake sometimes because it's the 80s, and you know, I really don't like when they write dialogue to remind you what period it is, especially if it seems out of place, because there's a point where they say, hey, we're going to go see Duran Duran, and you want a ticket? She's like, radical. I'm like, what are you, a Ninja Turtle? Like, come on. We're going to get pizza after that, dude? But yeah, you don't need that dialogue for how good this girl is in the movie. These characters are. You got some smaller roles in here. Talking about Mask, but look at that Damien Bashir Max right there. He's in a smaller role, but he's very good. And Jeremy Davies is, you know, I like his character because he was an abusive father in the first movie, and he's kind of grown to try to be a better person.
Well, he stopped hitting the bottle. So
Stop hitting the bottle, stop hitting the kids. And plus he saw Finney was beating the kids' ass, and he was like, I'm gonna be next. I better get right.
I taught him too much.
I'll get my ass beat. Hey son, you know I didn't mean nothing about the man back in the day.
Start getting confused.
Yeah, we cool, right?
Listen, the story here, huge disappointment. I'll tell you that right now. The standout thing that we have here is Scott Derrickson's direction, because he makes the film very creepy by just making the film stock itself add to that, because the movie will stop and change film grades to like 16 millimeter. And that graininess really does add to the creepiness of the film. I see your ass back there.
Oh, you looking for me?
Yeah, he think you know from. I knew you back there the whole time. Bring your little skinny ass out from back there.
I meant go the other way.
So it really works because, I mean, the character, even though he's a ghost right now, he was originally a serial killer, and that grainy film just makes you think serial killer sometimes. Plus, the film would do things. He'll play with, again, the actual film grade or stock or whatever, because sometimes the movie, before it segues to something else, something big will happen, big shocking moment, and the film will actually burn in the middle of it. And it's a cool effect that adds to the intensity of what's going on. And I will say that the climax of the movie is pretty exciting. Even though I'm not crazy about the story, I think that the climax of the film, it all takes place on ice. This whole thing where these people can't see themselves being stalked by the ghost of the grabber. And, it's and it's actually pretty cool. I think part of that also is because the movie was very slow in the beginning.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, the movie, and so when the things finally pick up, it's like, wow. Some of these things I'm talking about, I probably wouldn't even notice if the movie. I can just kind of, put some pep in the step for a little bit. I don't know, man. Where the first was a really good story that had some, as you said, it was more like a thriller too, and it had some mystery behind it that built upon itself. It kept revealing clues. It kept, it was very clever how these kids were helping Finney maneuver around this situation. That was an original story that felt really cool. This is something that we've seen before, and you know what? It's anything from okay to, I've been there. This movie really kind of relies more on spooky imagery than I think solid storytelling like the first one did. So I don't know. I don't know. You want to get your ratings, everybody? You add on to it. Keep talking.
Well, I'll say first thing I'll say is congratulations to your daughter. 'Cause I did see her name up there. But look, as I love the first movie, I just didn't like this one at all. I know, like, before I saw the film, people were saying, like, this is the best horror movie of the year. They're like, weapons, sinners, everything, move out the way because the Black Phone 2 is here.
Hell no. No.
So maybe I don't walk there with too high some expectations. But watching this film, I was just like, there's a lot of scenes that I feel like just don't hold any weight. The dialogue, I feel like, just didn't hold a lot of weight. Now, you're right. There was some great performances, though. Like, the cast, I would say, they did all put on a really great performance. But I think what this movie lacks the most is that they're taking no risk with this film. Like, I think they played it. Yeah. I think they played it way, way too safe.
That's exactly why I said it's a studio sequel.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like, please just shock me. Do something that I don't think you're going to do. And it just played it straightforward. And I was like, come on, y'all. I'm like, y'all are dropping the ball here. Because I think the idea is interesting somewhat, but the execution just didn't do it for me. So, yeah, if I had to give a rating, I'd probably go like a rental.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Yeah.
No rating.
The silence kind of says it all.
I ain't got nothing. Well, I say what I had to say.
What you say, Martin? Like I just served you a plate of shit. Well, yeah, I'll probably go. I'll probably go rental myself on this, man. I probably even lean towards a high rental just for the climax because I think the direction is really good in the movie. And I just wish it was. I like you. I wish it took more risk. I wish there was more originality to it.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, nothing really happens in the movie. If you really think about it.
Yeah, no, and it really does take its time. The pacing is very slow, unlike that first movie where the pacing was damn near perfect because it kept building on each other. Yeah.
I just think it missed a lot of Ethan Hawke. I think that's the biggest thing because the first one had a lot of Ethan Hawke in it, and then you feel his mispresence in this one because it like in the first one, boom, he's there instantly, but for this one, it kind of takes a while to get to him. So it takes about 20-30 minutes to actually finally see his character. So I think that's what was making the movie drag because people were like, look, I'm coming here for the grabber. So that's all I care about. And then, like I said, it takes forever to get to that grabber. So I think that's what hurt.
Yeah. So it's compared to the storytelling of the first one. I do feel it's a disappointment. But hey, I think you kind of nailed on something there, Martin, when you said it's two different styles of film. Now, I definitely think one is better than the other. Mm-hmm. And I think one is a movie you already seen several times. Yeah. But some people might really want that storytelling. Some horror fans,
there's some horror Easter eggs in it. And, the hardcore fans, they respond to that.
Yeah, and that's another thing that ain't helping me.
I know. I'm not saying it to like, so since they like it, you should. I'm saying, because it's things where I was just like, I wouldn't have done that. But then I was like, okay, I now I understand why you did it.
Yeah, I don't know. Easter eggs are lazy to me. Y'all know how I feel about Easter eggs and fan service. Make a movie and then put that stuff in. Yeah. And that's then your Easter eggs and fan service will pay off even greater after that. It's a rental for me. I really want to like this more. I went in thinking I would like it more.
Me too.
I don't think I talked to you about this. You probably think about the gorge that I was talking about before.
Oh, you're talking about this.
Okay. Yeah. You say so. I don't think so. Because I was avoiding talking to you about it.
No, you talk to me about this. Yeah, it wasn't like it's not like we had an hour-long discussion, but we talked briefly about it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
Let me ask you, during that Q&A, did anybody bring up like, oh, were you inspired by Freddy Krueger with this? Okay, they did bring that up. I was like, God damn.
No, they mentioned it themselves.
Oh, okay, well.
I think Freddy was there. Inspired bullshit. You mean stole, bitch.
And then nobody went to sleep.
Oh, there you go.
I was disappointed with that. I don't think.
Marty, you don't want to say something? No, I'm messing with you. Now I'm messing with you.
I already said something.
I know. Yeah, you said something.
That said everything.
Man, why you gotta be a bitch about it?
More like a little kid. We don't want to eat his spinach. You want this? I like that. Why you gotta be a bitch? Or would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.